Hi everybody, it's me, your old pal Ashley, and do you ever get tired of all this upsetting murder? I mean, look at this! Wow, brutal, and frankly, rude? Whatever happened to some good old fashioned polite murder? Well, today sit back and relax as we look at some more pleasant and cozy murders from 1955's Footsteps in the Fog. Directed by Arthur Lubin, most famous for that weird Mr. Ed the Talking Horse show, the film stars Stewart Granger as Stephen Lowry, a real bastard, and Gene Simmons as the cockney idiot Silly Lily. The film begins at the funeral of Lowry's wife. He seems real torn up about the whole affair. We get a quick glimpse at the rest of the cast before we head back to Lowry's manor house. I get real Dracula vibes from Lowry. He is sinister but charming and has an imposing height. He also dresses exactly like Dracula, even with a cape, so as far as I'm concerned, he's now Dracula.
You have booked your last book.
Dracula is invited by Alfred Travers to stay at his home for a few days to seduce his daughter Elizabeth, but Dracula says no. It would be most unpolite to seduce a young woman on the same day you buried your wife. That's what I like about Dracula, he's got strong morals. As Dracula makes his way to the house, Elizabeth, Alfie's daughter, gets a little turned on, upsetting her good mate David. More from them later. In a nice shot, Dracula walks through his spooky house into a room with a portrait of his ugly old wife and her cat. He toasts to it with a cheeky smile, the rascal. We check in on the staff, who bully the poor little cockney girl Lily. Lily takes it in her stride, however, as she has something up her sleeve. She knows all about Dracula politely murdering his wife. She tests out the poison he used on some rats to make sure she is correct. To get his attention, she then steals some jewels and reveals she knows all about Dracula's murder plot. We then get some happy music as Dracula walks down the stairs to inform the other servants that Lily is their new boss. The music is oddly whimsical and fun. See, murder and blackmail don't have to be so serious. It can be just a bit of a laugh. Lily takes to her new position very well. No longer being bullied, she gains some new confidence. She lets Dracula know she never forgets anything, a bit of a flirty blackmail banter. I'm starting to think this film is a fun little rom-com. We even get a love triangle as we cut to David and Elizabeth. Dave is being given the runaround by Lizzie. She's shameless about it too. Dave pathetically tries to get her to care about him, and she literally laughs in his face.
Why not worry about poor David?
You?
Yes, me.
Such an idea would never occur to me.
He complains she was pleasant enough for both of them at dinner with Dracula earlier and tries to get her to leave with him. But Lizzie is drawn back to sexy Drac. It gets a little uncomfortable, to be honest. She could start sticking her tongue down his throat with her dad watching and David standing there in dignity asking, "Shall we go?" Come on, David, get a hint. As soon as they leave, Alfie, Elizabeth's father, basically tells Dracula, go on, go for it, give her one. He wants his daughter with a businessman and not an embarrassing barrister. Pfft, imagine. As Dracula makes his way home, he bumps into Bert, a happily married constable with 2 kids. Bert is genuinely lovely and gives his condolences.
You know, I don't know what it would be like to come home and not find the missus there.
I am sure you will never have to find out, Bert. Dracula makes his way inside and gets aggressive with Lily for wearing his wife's perfume. In a very Dracula move, it gets very sexual and he plants a big snog on her.
You have booked your last book.
It's what Silly Lily wanted all along. Dracula isn't the only one who knows how to charm the dames, however. Dave pulls up to Lizzie's gaff in some sick new wheels. Babes always love a hot ride, so she agrees to let David take her for a spin. Well played, David. He lets Lizzie have a go in the car and she nearly drives over some chickens. You know what they say, women drivers, no survivors. When they pull up, she gives him a friend kiss and David cries that she likes Dracula more than him. She tears out David's heart, letting him know how much she is attracted to Dracula, and David whines, "But his wife is dead." Ugh. Then, in the ultimate cuck move, David actually goes to Dracula and asks him not to add his bird to his collection. But Dracula embarrasses Dave real bad.
Elizabeth's the most wonderful girl in the world. Couldn't bear anyone to think ill. I should have kept this to myself. I'm sorry. Well, we can all make mistakes when one's young and in love.
But then his servants make a scene and quit because they don't like lovely Lily. In the commotion, David notices the jewelry on Silly Lily is the same as in the painting of Dracula's dead wife. Dave quickly excuses himself and leaves. Dracula gets angry at Lily for wearing the jewellery so blatantly and tells her to never let the help make a scene like that again. We are only a half hour in and so much has already happened. Lowry, who likes to dress as Dracula, killed his wife. Lily, his bully servant, knows and blackmails him into making her in charge of the house. Then causes the other staff to quit so she can look after a murderer all alone. Then there's David the barrister, whose lady friend and her father are working hard to make Dracula seduce her so she can dump the loser barrister. He bought a car to impress her, but still she only has eyes for Lowry and wants to be his child bride. But Lily has made it clear she doesn't want any other woman in the house, especially Lizzie, and Lowry likes to murder any woman who tries to control him. Also, maybe I'm reading too much into it, but the cat is definitely haunted by the spirit of Lowry's dead wife and hisses at him every time he enters a room. And it only gets crazier from here, so pour some brandy and strap in. The next day, Dracula tries to be reasonable with Lily. He offers to send her to America with money, where there is no class system and she can improve her place in life. But Lily turns him down. He tried to be reasonable, but Lily the lunatic refuses to listen to reason. So the only thing for it is a spontaneous murder. Dracula grabs his cane and follows her into the fog. And, as you can probably guess, he's definitely going to murder the wrong lady. I hope he murders Lizzie, I don't care for her, and it would be a fun little twist. He catches up with some woman and bludgeons her to death as the drunks leave the pub and shout murder. Dracula makes a break for it. The old coot can really move when he wants to. It's actually a very good chase and reminds me a bit of the Cabinet of Dr. Caligari. Of course, he loses his cane, but he makes it home. He's out of breath and nervous as he hears the commotion outside. Then, the twist we all know was coming happens.
What are you doing here?
You're alive.
No. Wrong, not dead woman. Lily walks in, all chirpy and excited about the murder. She finds it rather juicy until the terrible, silly music makes her realize that the polite murder was meant for her. The cops come to the door and let them know that it was actually the lovely Constable Burke's wife that Dracula killed. Wow, what a shit. The Rogers the next day show Dracula the murder weapon, then play a little trick having the drunks ID him. Dracula is placed under arrest. Looks like he's going down for at least one murder, but luckily for him, David is a massive idiot. He lets Lizzie, the woman who has shown no regard for his feelings, talk him into representing the man he hates and does not trust. The man his lady friend continually humiliates him for. We cut to a pretty fun trial. Say what you will about David, but he's a very good barrister. He discredits the drunk witnesses who, really, put the fun in murder trials. Next up is Lily. Okay, Lily, he murdered his wife, has threatened you, and even attempted to murder you. So do the right thing.
Well, I was with Mr. Lowry every minute of the time. He didn't leave the house all evening.
Well, she, of course, helps get Dracula off. Good job, Lily. David is then rewarded by seeing the love of his life throw herself at the two-time murderer. I hope he feels really good about this. Dracula returns home with Lily, and after some insinuated hanky-panky, he reveals that he only married his wife for his money. No shit. He and Lily then bond as they both age and body shame the former Mrs. Lowry. Dracula finally asks the question we have all been wondering.
How can you stay here? Aren't you frightened to be in a house with a man who's already tried to kill you? Aren't you afraid?
Lily reveals she may be an idiot, but there's one thing she is not, sir. And that, sir, is an idiot. She sent a letter to her sister to be opened if anything were to happen to her. She also reveals she is madly in love with Dracula.
I don't know what I'd do if I didn't have you to look after.
I don't know who's worse, Lily or David. It's close, and it shouldn't be. Dracula tried to murder Lily, but it is pretty close. The next evening, on his way to Lizzie's, Dracula has an awkward moment with Bert. Ugh, sorry for the old murdering your wife. Ugh. It's so annoying when the man whose wife you murdered just hangs about. He complains to Lizzie, who just says, fuck it, kiss me. Her dad then walks in and is just loving what he is seeing. He gives Dracula his blessing, but first, he must get rid of Lily because she's a bit weird. Dracula, of course, agrees because he never learns. When he returns home, he informs silly Lily he has become engaged to lovely Lizzie. Lily, as you can imagine, does not take it well.
I told you no other woman in the house while I'm here, and I mean to be here. Even though you tried to kill me once, I mean to be here. I've lied for you and protected you, and I'm not going to give you up now, not ever.
Don't be an idiot. You know I can't marry her.
He tells her it's all a trick for her money and he plans to marry Lily and move to America. Lily says, hooray! Silly Lily is so happy she agrees to write to her sister to ask her to destroy the letter she had sent previously.
Don't be an idiot.
We cut to Lily's sister and brother-in-law. The brother-in-law gets suspicious and tells Lily's sister not to destroy it.
Don't be an idiot.
He steals the letter when she is not looking and has a scheme in mind. We cut back to Dracula, whose master plan is to poison himself with the same thing he used on his wife. He plans to frame Lily the lunatic for all of it. Not a bad plan, honestly. Meanwhile, we cut to David crying to Lizzie's dad to postpone the wedding. Lizzie's dad asks for how long?
Until I have something more concrete.
I'm afraid you're a very bad loser, David.
David leaves and walks into Lily's brother-in-law, who mistakes him for Dracula. He agrees to meet with him in the pub and discovers everything about the letter. He finally has what he needs to ruin the love of his life's life. She is currently with Dracula, who is looking a bit under the weather from all the poisoning. When she leaves, Dracula gets silly Lily to fetch the doctor. He tells her to hurry back and she says 5 minutes. When she leaves, he has some more poison. Why not? It's the weekend. She doesn't come back in 5 minutes, however, as she is apprehended by the police who have arrested her brother-in-law for attempted blackmail. They have silly Lily write to see if it matches the letter. To the delight of Lizzie and her father, it doesn't! Hooray! Lily rushes to get back to Dracula and signs a waiver on her way out. Oh, Lily.
Don't be an idiot.
They match her hurried signature to the note confirming the letter was real and put a warrant out for the arrest of Lowry. Lizzie, of course, jumps into the comforting arms of Doormat Dave, who is clearly delighted about all this murder. Means he gets to be Lizzie's second choice, last resort. Good for you, Dave. Way to respect yourself, you poor dolt. As all this is happening, Dracula's in a bit of a bother. He goes outside and gets help from Bert. Bert, of course, despite what Dracula did, fetches the doctor.
Don't be an idiot.
When Lily returns to the house, Bert, the doctor, and Dracula are there waiting. Dracula's plan has worked. He has convinced him that silly Lily has poisoned him and his wife. But, Dracula, it seems, drank a tad bit too much poison. After framing Lily so blatantly, he still has the nerve to get cross with her for being late.
Why did you take so long? You said you'd only be 5 minutes. Only 5 minutes?
Lily really put a spanner in his polite plan to frame her by being 5 minutes late. She asked, did she ever mean anything to him ever? Was anything he said true, but it's too late, he's already dead. So Lily will never know the clearly obvious fact that no, she never meant anything to him ever and it was all lies. Because apparently it wasn't clear to her. Well, at least now Lily can finally let go of this toxic relationship. She will go to prison for a bit for perjury, sure, but she didn't kill anyone. Just covered up a couple murders. She will be able to have a fresh start in a few years. No, just kidding. She is still desperately in love with him. She wishes that first ambulance from earlier had been for her so Dracula might still be alive. Oh, Lily. When will you ever learn? Well, that was Footsteps in the Fog. A story about murder, more murder, some accidental murder. It's pretty good. Everyone is great, especially Stewart, Granger and Simmons as our leads. They are both pretty likeable for vile characters. But you do feel sorry for Lily, who is clearly besotted with her murderous boss, and yeah, she can't help herself. It's love.
Don't be an idiot.
Bill Travers as David is great as well, and his supporting role as a massive idiot. Everyone else does their jobs. I really like the other barrister in the court scene. The weakest performance probably goes to Belinda Lee as Elizabeth Travers, but that probably comes down to her character just being incredibly uninteresting. This is a great gothic noir that never lets up. Boy, I sure did say a thing or two about a thing or two. Who knows what I might say next? Could be something good. Only one way to find out, and that's by liking and subscribing. Go on, you know you want to.